The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. This one is brought to you in association with... Who should we go for today then, Michael?
Well, it's got to be Leeds Solicitors.
You thought so, yeah?
Yeah, it normally is. So, yeah.
If you're a new viewer or listener, you can see this on YouTube. You can hear it in your podcast app. Tell me about Leeds Solicitors, Michael. I mean, the long-term listener, viewer, will know all about the big three services that they offer, such as, I don't know, wills.
Probate.
Conveyancing.
Yeah, the conveyancing, over 600 houses.
Yeah.
Probably more now.
Do you want to go back and read what we've put on the sheet for how we could maybe...
I mean, if you're making me read, right, which sheet?
It's somewhere in Slack.
You want a 10% discount? Is it that bit or a different bit?
You shoot with whatever you've got, mate.
All right, yeah. If you want 10% discount on your legal fees, levisolicitors.co.uk.
That's amazing.
/ the square ball. Did you have a different sheet in front of you?
The one I've got says that they've got over 1,200 5-star reviews from their clients.
That's a good point too.
Yeah, so that's good. Over 600 houses sold, as Michael said, through their conveyancing stuff. Let's get on with the show, shall we? levisolicitors.co.uk / the square ball. Propaganda should all be over by now. It's not, though, is it? Because we're still going with the playoffs.
And this game...
And I don't know if you've heard, we got to Wembley.
This game feels like it was about 6 months ago.
I feel like I've aged a lot since then. It was a big night. It's taken a lot out of me. I'm only just recovering. We went to the seaside together to escape.
Inadvertently, we did, yeah. We bumped into each other on the beach, didn't we? Had a little hug in our trunks.
It was lovely.
Very nice time.
So Michael's children making some primitive art of some cock and balls.
Massive cock and balls on the beach.
There was loads of them, yeah. You've taught them well.
Yeah, it was actually, there was like a bit of a landslip at the back of the beach and there was some clay soil and they were making... cock and balls out of clay and leaving them on the rocks for people to enjoy.
It's good that you just left your kids near a landslip.
It'd all gone. It was dry. It dried up.
Right.
It's one of those where you're going, is that meant to be something else? And then you asked them, what are you making? He said, Willies. Okay.
Fine.
Enough.
Yeah, I've barely slept, properly since... I've not slept. I just haven't slept anywhere near properly since like Thursday night. The adrenaline of the game, I think it took me about 2 days to come down from it. Then I've started getting excited about Wembley again now because we've put all our plans in place. And we should say, by the way, there will be a match ball from Wembley in some fashion. We've got an Airbnb at the end of Wembley Way, Olympic Way, right by the tube station. So we'll be able to come out of the stadium and then go straight into that and bring you a match ball. It won't be all whistles and bells like this in a studio. It'll be in an Airbnb.
Nice and echoey. And thank you to anyone who has offered us a place, actually. Because several people have. But we've got this and it's simple.
Yeah.
And you better see probably like your mucky pants in the background or something because it's where you're sleeping.
It
so
is
that'll be
also
nice.
I'm sleeping, yes. So it's going to be our forward operating base, so that'll be good fun. And if you are going to Wembley, we'll see you there, hopefully. So say hello to us. And if you do see Michael, standard greeting, Will's Probate Conveyancing, the big three, every time.
Polish my head. All the sort of usual stuff that people do.
All the fun things. But what you were going to say about the semi-final game, Michael, so please do continue.
I just said it was ages ago. Yeah. And it feels too late to do propaganda on it somehow because I know it was Thursday, but God, it might as well have been a month ago.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on. I've looked at so many trains and hotels and tube maps and stuff since thinking, I can get to there, and to there, and then go there and then have that in time for that. And I'm sure everyone's the same.
Mm.
Let's relive it, though, because it was magical Thursday night.
It was great, wasn't it?
How many times have you watched it back? I've watched the full game back, full 90, twice since.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've still not watched the full game back.
I stayed up and watched it when I got back because I knew I wouldn't sleep anyway. And then a couple of nights ago, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to watch it again. Now I've calmed down a little bit and I'm not all giddy.
Were we as dominant as you first thought?
Yeah. We were brilliant. We were absolutely brilliant and fully deserved it. And I just hope we can take that into the final. That's all I hope. Yeah. We make a decent fist of it, a good showing.
Norwich didn't enjoy it as much.
No.
Although, slightly disappointingly, for the most part, they seem to take it fairly well. Like, the people are coming out of the ground, we're all just going, yeah, that was rubbish, wasn't it? Never mind.
I mean, you can't really argue with it, can you? When you've just been absolutely banged by another team.
In some ways, it's an easy defeat, isn't it, in some ways, 4-0. Like, the Derby 4-2 was hard to take because it felt unjust in several ways, whereas this, you just had to go, yeah.
I think also going 1-0 down within, 6 or 7 minutes, you start to think, oh, bloody hell. And then it's 2 after 20 minutes. You know at that point, don't you, probably that this is not going to end well. So you can get sort of used to it. So by the time the next hour and a half, when you include half time as elapsed, and you're coming out of the ground, you're probably about fine. You're disappointed, but you're fine with it. You can accept it.
You're through all your stages of grief early, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because you've sat watching it going, yeah, it's not happening. I'm cross about this. Oh, no, I'm not. It's fine. It's fine, isn't it? It's fine.
Yeah.
And they sacked the manager, of course.
They did sack, Wagner got sacked.
Just got that over and done with quickly. But anyway, let's go back to happier times for Norwich fans. This is some pre-game chat with the Pinken, and it sets up quite nicely what happened.
Their away support's meant to be this amazing thing, and I didn't hear them for most of the game there. So I think if we score early on, it could turn quite hostile. I think they'll score early, and I think their fans will get behind them. So I think they'll be all right.
You've seen Ashley Barnes get off the bus. How big could that be? Massive.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that he got injured right at the end, because I think this is the sort of game where we need him. We're definitely a lot better with Barnes compared to without Barnes.
Makes everyone better.
I thought Sargent the other day was poor without Barnes.
Yeah.
So, I think if we stay in it and he comes on, I think we stand a chance.
Ashley Barnes makes everything better. Discuss.
It made my night a lot better.
It was great fun. It reminded me a bit. I was thinking back to Fab Delph destroying Robbie Savage, an aging Robbie Savage, and it reminded me a little bit of that, of just watching someone you've disliked for years having a really bad time and just thinking, yeah, fuck you.
Because it's bitterness and tribalism that the whole thing is built on, isn't it? Let's face it.
Exactly. That's the way, always the way to go.
So that's quite prescient about us scoring early, and the fans getting behind the team.
Do you want some more pre-match talk about team selection and the way the game might go for Norwich?
Let's.
I don't know if Sargent's fit. Have we heard anything yet?
Him and Barnes have just got off the bus. So
Excellent.
how big is that?
Yeah, I'm pleased if Barnes will hold the ball up.
Yeah.
Barnes knock it 100%. Yeah, knock it off for Sargent, hopefully to grab one.
Yeah.
What I don't want is to go 1-0 down after a few minutes.
Yeah.
So I think after that, it could be a long night.
Correct.
And it was. Are you pleased to see Leeds linked with Josh Sargent this week? Were you pleased to see that then, Michael? Because you're a massive fan.
I've unfairly been pegged as a Josh Sargent hater. I just don't think he's that
You've
good.
unfairly been pegged? What was unfair about it?
The lack of lubrication. No, I've just never seen him play well.
Oh, God, what an image.
It's the main thing. That's my main issue with him.
Yeah.
I've seen him play against Leeds. It must be 6 times or something now. And he's been absolutely shit in all of them.
Was there any moment where he went through on goal where you thought, oh no, I'm going to look daft here?
Yeah. I thought of you, yeah.
But then I also thought, thank God it's Josh Sargent going through on goal and not like Sarah or one of their good players.
He's scored a few goals this year.
I know he has, but it's the Championship, isn't it? If we go up, if we sign him, I'd be really depressed.
Right.
I have to say. As a Championship player, I suppose he might be all right.
Cue the haters.
But please, God, no.
Right, so that was before the game.
Yes. So coming out of the ground, they spoke to some people, but mainly they were just going, yeah, well beaten really on the night, and that was it. So fine. But this is the Pinkens reporter doing his little bit.
Leeds are an excellent side. They've got an excellent coach, particularly at this level. Norwich fans know that all too well, and they by far and away deserve it. And there was 17 points I think between the two teams in the season, and you look on the evidence of tonight, and goodness me, it felt like an absolute chasm between them. Norwich was so far apart. This wasn't even competitive.
Chasm, yeah, Chasm Dave.
You don't say Chasm, do you?
No.
That's really why I left that there.
Chasm Dave.
I know there's a way of... Has he read that off a script? Has he Ron Birkin did it? Has he...
Maybe he just might not know the word.
Yeah, I sort of put it in to just check with other people that's not how you say it's chasm, right?
Yeah.
It's chasm.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, good.
The Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon, yeah.
That's a chasm.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Whew, that is a relief to me.
Well, now, where on our magical mystery tour of clubs are you taking us next?
We'll stick on us and we'll go second tier podcast talking. They've got a little clip about us.
Are they the ones who always put a lot of clickbaity tweets out?
Don't know.
Should we assume yeah?
Yeah.
It's basically everyone on the internet, isn't it?
Yeah. Fair point.
We would never, but this is them talking about us first of all.
This is the Leeds we all know and love, isn't it? Where has this Leeds team been hiding now for the past month and a half?
Yeah, this was an aggressive, ruthless Leeds side, and it was so good to watch because I think you go as far back as the Hull game where they struggled to really overcome a stubborn Hull side. before getting the penalty later on in the game, and really making sure of it as well. And even even going as far back as the Huddersfield game, where one of Brian Wright's first games in charge of Huddersfield. Leeds struggled to break Huddersfield down. Huddersfield had 10 men, and they just couldn't get past them. And that's the sort of game I was expecting here. But Leeds made it look so easy. And that's a credit to them, because we saw an aggressiveness that I've not seen probably since mid-January, to be honest with you. This Leeds side was going for it. They were up for it.
Yep.
I mean, I will say mid-January is a bit harsh, because the results in February were win at Bristol, 3-0 against Rotherham, 4-0 against Swansea, 2-0 against Plymouth, 3-1 against Leicester. So it wasn't bad, wasn't that month.
I do hate it when neutrals are nice about us though as well. When he started that by saying this is the Leeds we know and love.
Fuck off. I looked at your face, then went, yeah, just as he said that, and you kind of grimaced.
This isn't for you. This is for us. Fuck off.
You've got no rights. What Moscow said about, I think, one of these. That's exactly what Moscow reacted about. I think it was either these lot or the other generic championship podcast at the start of the season. What are you talking about Leeds for? So, well, we are in the division, yeah, but what are you talking about?
Get our name out of your mouth. Disgusting. We can hear him talk about Norwich, though. That's fine, right?
Oh, yeah.
This was awful from Norwich. I don't think I'm being reactionary here by saying it's one of the worst performances I've seen from a team in a championship playoff final, because they just championship playoff game, because they just didn't turn up at all. No. It was really, really poor, and it was actually quite surprising how bad Norwich were.
Funny, isn't it? It makes our second leg against Derby look quite good.
We really hung in there, didn't we, with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised how bad they were, I have to say. I thought it'd be a tight-ish sort of a game.
They were bad, but we were really good as well. I don't think we let them have any chance of being good.
No.
There was a moment in the first half, I think it was only 1-0 at that point, where the ball got passed into Joel Perreault's feet, and we've seen it so many times this season where he's just kind of laid it off or it's bounced off him. But he just turned the defender really slickly and passed it to Somerville forward. I think Somerville was offside, so it was ultimately meaningless. But just seeing Joel Perreault do that for the first time this season, I was like, fucking hell, we're on it here. I've not got a chance.
I've started to rethink that, the Derby playoff semi-final, just mentioned there, that we weren't actually bad in that game, were we? Up until it went wrong.
There were a couple of bad moments.
There was a bad moment.
Certainly.
There was a bad moment that just went and flipped it. Because I'd always kind of had it in my head that, the atmosphere in the crowd, I think that really influenced it on Thursday, and perhaps got to the Norwich players, and the Leeds players were harnessing it. And I'd always kind of thought in my mind that one before, with all the scarves and stuff like that, the Derby game, maybe the occasion got to our players. But I don't know if it did. I think maybe it just went mad.
Those 4 games against Derby that season, we battered them for all but about 12 minutes, and they just came either side of half-time in that game. And it's why Mellier's save against Sargent felt like such a big moment, and it was so lovely for him to get a big roar and some accolades, because at 2-0 up, it was like it could have been flashbacks to Derby, and instead it was like, no, this is going to be different. Amazing.
Where to now then, Michael? Is that the East Anglians done?
No, I've got a few more. I've got a few more little bits.
While we are over that way, should we mention that Kieran McKenna could be on his way to Brighton? That's quite funny, isn't it?
I know.
Purely from when did you do it a few months ago?
Christmas was the time to poach Kieran McKenna.
But in terms of pure Schadenfreude, you had a nice time. You danced on your pitch. You all got a little bit giddy. Welcome to the Premier League, boys and girls.
Stolen. I mean, he should probably take the job, shouldn't he? Not to talk him out of Ipswich, but likely Ipswich will struggle next year, and then come Christmas, a very stable mid-table Premiership team probably isn't going to come for him. So I say, Kieran, get rid of them. Ditch those useless back. They're holding you back.
Yeah, and it'd be nice as well, in my twisty tribalistic mind, to think that this will almost certainly completely take the shine off the season for Ipswich, and will knacker them. Could also knacker Brighton as well, if that one doesn't quite work. I know they've got all their algorithms and that.
Or if it does work for Brighton, Scum will inevitably employ him, and then he'll do badly there.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that he's already been linked with Scum and Chelsea, but it's like, clearly the more sensible move is to go to Brighton. He'd be a lunatic to go to either of those clubs.
Good payoff, though.
True.
You got to think you're only probably going to do 6 months' work and get about 10 million quid.
It's the dream.
So, seems all right.
So where are we going now then? So we've got more East Anglia.
There wasn't much in the way of a watch along. I found On the Ball and Beyond. This is just the goals going in, and just he doesn't get too cross really. He's just he more or less accepts it.
Come on, Norwich. We've been to Wembley once. Can we do it again? Wembley awaits. And it's a free kick to Leeds. Oh, and it's in! No! Bad start for Norwich. Oh, no! Oh, no, it's two! Oh, God's sake! Well, we're not going to Wembley. Oh, come on, no! No, 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 no! No, it's free! God's sake, Norwich! Not even half time yet. They're still in. And it's 5! 4! I can't count. What a rubbish game. Bit of disappointing. They were just too good for us, really.
I ain't been second best.
He took it all right, though.
Yeah, fair play. No,
Propaganda news. Did you see I met Hull Boy?
You did meet Hull Boy, didn't you? Yeah.
What an experience. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Hull Boy was absolutely full of enthusiasm for Leeds, full of enthusiasm for his channel. Not like us just jaded old cynical bastards.
I watched you running.
Now Rob's just turned over 30. I mean, you've just turned over 40. It's just going to get more cynical, more bitter.
But yeah, I dropped the van up at the ground for selling mags and stuff. Just walked round through the back of the south stand to do a little bit of a lap.
Did he get his grandma on the phone when you were there?
No, sadly. But yeah, I saw him. I was like, "It's Hull Boy," and it was like he hugged me.
Yeah,
it was nice. He was a bit. I think been running
hands across the ocean.
Yeah, I watched him run a half marathon on YouTube.
Right,
I like him.
Did you watch that in normal time, or did you?
Well, it was
skip through just the highlights.
It was highlights. His grandma was on it. That was nice.
Yep.
She gave him a hug. Oh, it's just wholesome content.
I was going to say we need to get you to meet that Cardiff City fan, but there's probably some like safeguarding issues there. So.
Right, go on then.
Let's stick in Norwich then. This is Norwich City OTBC, which I don't know what that stands for. Do you know Norwich stuff?
On the Beach Canaries.
Cool, that'll do.
Yep.
Which is what they are now, I suppose.
Very nice coastline in North Norfolk.
Yeah, so he's recording the morning after the game. He's walking through some woods for some reason. I don't know why you choose to do it like this, but this is how the video started.
Visiting a dump site?
I'll see if you're as confused as an axe, shovel,
bit of rope.
But this is how the video started, wasn't? Because I didn't know the name here, I was confused as to what was going on.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. What I've got coming up for you right now is the first rant of 2024. And if you're easily offended by anything I have to say, then I suggest you switch off. And quite frankly, I don't care. Over to you, Ben Napper. Over to you. Time to show your mettle as a sporting director.
Yeah, I thought it was going to cut live to Ben Napper. I don't know Ben Napper
Over to
is.
Ben. I mean, if you saw a man walking through the woods shouting about being angry and stuff, you'd probably give it a wide berth, wouldn't you, that one?
Well, there's a clip here,
if you're out
actually.
walking your dog or whatever.
Well, the problem here is it occurs because he's doing this and someone goes past, so this happens.
For me, the damage was done in the first leg when I felt we had to score early, and we didn't. And I felt from that moment on, this is Leeds United's for the taking. Morning. And it was exactly that.
The little pause.
The little padding of feet.
Yeah.
Morning. You did a video? Yep.
Why
are you doing it in the woods?
Were those the canaries there in the trees in the background tweeting away?
Could well have been.
Could have been, couldn't it?
Anyway, he's obviously recording this quite early because they'd sacked Wagner by about lunchtime, hadn't they? The day after. Yeah, but this is just him getting angry about Wagner.
He should be fired after what I witnessed last night at Elland Road on the TV and listening to it on TalkSport. Leeds United 4, Norwich City 0. I didn't expect us to win the second leg. But to produce that shower of shit, that is unacceptable, and that is a performance I will not stand for. I will not tolerate.
Right, so it all feels a bit performative, that, doesn't it?
You've got to, haven't you? What are you going to do about it?
Just imagine walking through those woods and like the bird song sounds so idyllic, and you come across this lunatic shouting into his phone.
And more, imagine if you approached from an angle where you couldn't see him holding his phone, and all you heard is something a bloke shouting about not being able to tolerate something.
Over to you, Ben Napper.
There's no one here, mate.
He's in the trees.
Yeah, I'm not here. I'm not Ben. Okay, next is where?
So that was him being angry. I've got a bit of stuff from the other playoff. Do you want to hear some of that?
Not really bothered, but go on.
Oh, all right. Well,
don't want to know about Southampton.
Well, let's hear about them because they had a good night too. I didn't watch it. Did you watch it?
Watched a bit of it, and I think it got to I think it was 80 odd minutes. I think when they went 3 up, I just switched it off. I said, I don't need to see anybody celebrating and being happy. I didn't realise what was going to happen towards the end as well. It all got a little bit leery, didn't it?
Did a bit, but this is their version of Graham Smith. He's Alfie House. He's called. He's from the Southern Daily Echo, but he's on the Total Saints podcast, just talking about the night as a whole and how he felt it all was.
Just in terms of summing up the entire night as an evening, I think it was, the best night I've ever had in football myself. The best night I've seen at St Mary's for, certainly the time I've been covering the club, and people I've spoken to say it's the best at St Mary's since you moved there. Obviously, you've had huge games. You've had European games, cup semi-finals, that sort of thing. But the atmosphere before the game was absolutely fantastic. You have to credit all the supporters who turned up. The fireworks shops in Shirley and whatnot that were all sold out of smoke bombs, and the club as well for encouraging it and allowing it, and what an atmosphere. Thousands of fans outside. The smoke was complete. It was thick. The air was red. I couldn't breathe for a lot of it. I couldn't see the bus as it arrived, but it was there somewhere. But just a lot of shithousery all night, basically. Just think in terms of the advertising boardings. Matt Letiz at halftime winding up the away fans. You had Psycho Mike Dennis with the most rousing speech I've ever heard. I would, I think Glenn said I'd go to war for him at some point if he asked me to. I thought everything on the night was just brilliant, and Southampton were very much deserving of their place in the Wembley final next weekend.
So hang on a second, were they encouraging them to bring smoke bombs? They're not allowed in football stadiums, are they? And obviously there was the ugly scenes towards the end. I'm thinking probably points deduction, something about 20 points maybe knocked off.
Just a goal deduction.
You think?
For the final.
Right.
It's never been done before.
Right, just starting like a golf handicap almost.
Yeah, you just start on -1, maybe -2, because it was bad. Someone could have died.
Because actually you can't retrospectively apply a points deduction now, I suppose, can you? So because I was thinking maybe drop them out of the playoffs, eliminate them. But if we're going to do it that way, maybe we could just...
What if one of the smoke bombs had because they're bombs at the end of the day, what if it had exploded the whole stadium?
Yeah.
What then?
Yes.
What then?
If Southampton started with a -2 handicap, how much would you be lumping on them to win?
Oh, they'd be about 20-1 if that was the case. So yeah,
at least £5.
Full mortgage.
How much did you lose on the semi-final second leg?
Oh, I can't actually remember in total. I think it was like a £5 I put on them at 3. On Norwich at 3-0. I'm sure it went to like 150-1, and I was like, I'm just going to stick a little bit of extra insurance on.
When the fun stops, stop.
But it was fine. I'm betting, actually. I've got someone else who's adopted the exact same method as me, who is a Southampton fan, appearing on Will Burford's YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to explain to this West Brom fan outside a pub what he's done, but he's too pissed to properly explain it. So he's struggling a little bit.
Or as we know it, the match ball for the final.
So I'm here with Dave, big Southampton fan. What are you thinking for today, mate?
Well, I've just backed West Brom 4-1 to win.
Really, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Well, I'm in a no-win situation. If the bet comes in, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And if we win, I'm happy. I'm going to Wembley. So I'm in a no-win situation. I am in a win situation.
Yeah.
Is he taking the piss now?
Just speak, come on, you Saints.
Hey? You're right.
Come on, you Saints.
Come on, you Saints.
Where's your wife tonight?
Fuck those Pompey fuckers.
We've done a £20 bet on West Brom to win. I'm a Southampton fan.
Yeah. No win, no lose.
No win, no lose.
Do you know what? I'm going to honestly say, these baggy fans, I love them.
We want to know where the bag's at.
This is what football's about.
100%. We had a good night tonight.
It's what football's about, not rivalry. It's about on the night, have fun and enjoy.
Definitely, mate. All the best. I wish you all the best, whatever the result.
Up the Saints.
Up the Saints. Up the Albion.
That's a great sign-off. I think what everybody was searching for there was this is a no-lose situation.
No-lose. He could only say it's no win.
It's not. It's a win-win. No, it's not a win-win.
It's a no-win.
It's a no-win. It's a win-lose.
So you can't win. Have I done that wrong? I can't win.
There was a lot of nervous, from the interview.
Yeah, where's this going to go?
Oh, yeah.
Also, you don't want to be back in West Brom straight, because then it goes to extra time and you can lose there just for Dave's future.
People
betting against his team.
Speaking of people who can't speak, ironically enough, me just tripping over my words there. Speaking of people who can't speak, shall we return to something we mentioned on last week's propaganda? Just a quick detour into Jesse Marsh and say we're going to properly Basically, I think the whole point is provoke Moscow.
That's it, yeah. We could have done this today, but we're going to wait for Moscow to be in the building.
So Moscow's going to be recording with us later in the week. And on the members show, we're going to dissect a little bit of what Jesse was talking about. It's an interview he did back when he went to Montreal, wasn't it? Was it coached as Montreal? Mm-hmm. And it's like this is his welcome interview. Montreal, don't know if you've heard, believe that's in the French-speaking part of Canada, as they call it. In France, which is Canada, if you're an English speaker. It's the native English tongue. And this was the interview we were talking about last week, where have a listen, see what you think. But this reminds me of, when you got called in to do like your French oral exam and you hadn't revised and you're desperately searching for something to say. I think this is what it sounded like.
C'est très important. Parle français et québécois parce que Québec est très différent, ok, de Canada, des États-Unis, et je respecte. Is that a word? Yeah. Oui, je respecte la culture et l'environnement beaucoup.
It's so good, isn't it?
They're mainly English words. Culture.
So these are English words.
L'environnement.
It's English words borrowed from French, isn't it?
La télévision. Beaucoup.
Où est la gare?
Le pamplemousse est dans la table.
Yeah. J'habite at Wisconsin.
Oui.
And so on and so forth. But yeah, good fun. We'll do more of that then on this week's members show, so check that out. And it's just Moscow baiting, as we said, so that'll be good fun. Right, where now, Michael?
Danielle May. So she, coincidentally, when you're watching clips and you're like, it's this guy again. It's Drunk Dave. She's busy talking to Drunk Dave outside the ground. This is a Southampton channel at this point. And then people come and start talking to her about the pitch invasion because they were generally not happy with it.
We had a couple of penalty shouts. Should we have been given them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Why the fuck are we running on the pitch? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Wait, talk me through this. What's going on?
Why are they on the pitch?
Why are they on the pitch?
It's a semi-final. We ain't got promoted yet. Why are we on the pitch?
Well, this is our last home game, so I think that's maybe
That's
why.
embarrassing.
No, because if you watch
when we beat Coventry, I was on the pitch because we were promoted. We're not even promoted yet. We still got to play Leeds.
So if you got complete,
that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
We've not been promoted. We've got another game left.
We've got
it's
one more game.
Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
We look like a tin pot club because Leeds didn't do it last night, but we have. So we just look stupid. We look embarrassing because we haven't been promoted.
Yeah. Should we talk about the game?
Oh, mate, phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of the best games I've ever been to in my life, right?
Literally, the atmosphere, incredible.
Yeah, it was, and it's one of the best I've ever been to. But to storm the pitch, it just looks embarrassing. Comparing us to Leeds now as two teams in the final, it's us and Leeds. Leeds didn't storm the pitch because they haven't been promoted. We stormed the pitch because we look like idiots. And we stormed the away end. What's the point? What is the point? What's the point? We've not been promoted. We've not been promoted. It's embarrassing.
Doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks of your club, does it? But
that's what I think.
But I agree. I do agree with that. Like why?
It's not a time to celebrate. Not really.
I mean, it was very, very good when Leeds beat Norwich. You can celebrate a lot, but maybe a pitch invasion is a bit too far. Talking of celebration, police, have you seen the Leeds uncut video of the night? And Georgie Rutter is very excitable at full time, as he always is. And have you seen who's telling him to calm down?
Yeah, it's actually great, isn't it?
It's actually great.
You got a person who's only just turned 18.
It's like, Georgie, just leave it. And yeah, Georgie gives him a really dirty look like, oh, come on, mate.
I sort of think you've got to enjoy it, haven't you?
Yeah, and that's exactly how I feel about Thursday. Like, if you can't enjoy these nights, then what's the point?
Although I wouldn't have gone on the pitch.
No.
Under any circumstances.
No.
Because there's a bit of...
Well, they're going on the pitch, like the Man City one I saw, for example, like their fans, it pissed them off a little bit, didn't it? That they all invaded. And even then I'm like, what are you even bothering for now? You sports washing twats.
Something to do in it, I
mean
suppose.
anything.
Like, hey,
yeah, but at least that is kind of when the trophy is secured. Do you know what I mean? Like you've achieved something.
So we're going on at Wembley. That's what you're saying.
Like, for example, we invaded the pitch after we were relegated that time. We achieved relegation.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, again, that was against the Ipswich one.
That was Ipswich, yeah.
Yeah. That didn't end.
What was Ben Fry saying at that point?
Didn't end brilliantly.
Can you recall?
No, at that one, I don't remember. It was more the promotion one. It was going, please get off the pitch, everyone. You're really naughty. Silly lad. So anyway, that was them being cross about the pitch invasion. Should we hear from a bloke who didn't mind it?
Yeah.
Come on!
Pitch invasion was embarrassing, by the way.
No, it wasn't. It was embarrassing.
You get on the pitch?
Yeah, I got on the pitch.
Yeah, of course you did.
Who doesn't? Who didn't?
It wasn't embarrassing. Oh,
it's not a crime.
I bet he probably walked away from that and went, maybe it was a bit embarrassing, actually.
It is a criminal offence, isn't it, to enter the field of play? So you've committed a crime.
Yeah.
Glorifying in your criminal behaviour.
I hope there's a large show trial before the Wembley final so they're ended empty. Just
a show trial.
20,000 people, no evidence really presented, just going, yeah, you were all there, including Sunak. He needs to go in prison as well.
And then, so got one more from these lot then, yeah?
Yeah, just a bloke who's confusing it by speaking in a slightly odd way.
2-0 in the final, we're coming, I reckon. Adam Armstrong, bash!
Talk me through today, though. Are you happy with what you saw?
Yeah, quiet first half, bit cagey, but
oh god, it was.
Second half,
first half.
The second half a lot better.
Yeah.
Real small bone, bash. No good plays. Yeah, banging.
Why do you keep saying that?
You must know.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on.
He just keeps saying bash.
Right.
Bash! Yeah. Which I think is to do with that bloke who eats the Chinese.
Is he that boxer's dad or something?
No, it's just another fat bald man.
Okay.
And now John Fury is going to come and headbutt you because you've confused him.
Did you watch the boxing, by the way?
Do you know what? I had it on and I slept through nearly all of it. Right. I was slow a little bit at the start and then I think a little bit at the end. Yeah, it went on far too long, didn't it, the intro?
Yeah.
And after I'd paid £30 for it as well.
Hey, do you know what? I think the if you were watching it on Sky Box Office, which, you know, was it 25 quid?
That's what I paid, yeah.
Yeah. Tickets for the actual show, so I was told anecdotally, were 12 quid locally if you bought them. So we could have gone over to Saudi Arabia, had a nice time with the lads.
Did look like a great atmosphere.
Going to the arena, yeah.
Everyone stood there just watching a bloke singing above a ring, being like,
yeah,
when's this going to end? Can he fuck off yet?
Someone in one of the WhatsApp groups mentioned saying, I just don't see the point of like being smashed in the face repeatedly. What's the attraction in it? And I was like, Cristiano Ronaldo sat there. How can you say that? You'd love to see him repeatedly kicked back the head.
I mean, when Tyson Fury was wishing everyone a happy new year after the fight, he was like, yeah, that probably is an advert of not getting smashed in the face for 40 minutes or whatever it is.
Can you stop hitting me? This really hurts. Right,
they're massive as well, those lads.
Yeah, big boys.
Really big person.
I believe they look like what they call heavyweights. Yeah,
that's one way of describing him.
Yeah. Where are we going now then, Michael?
Do you want to finish on a bit of Leicester Till I Die?
Go on then. Have you saved the best till last?
Well, I've saved this till last. Whether or not you consider it to be the best or not, I don't know. But
you be the judge.
Here they are talking about the trophy presentation or something. It's like the way it was done. Did they have a bus or something? I couldn't be arsed listening to. I'd skip through for the bit I want. And anyway, here it is.
Still, I'm sure, moaning aside, I'm sure people still enjoyed the occasion, didn't they, Chris? Because, like, I don't know, certain team that plays in white, that people join to win trophies. You know, they don't get to see these things as often. It's a bit too regular for us. Maybe we are Man City, not just with Enzo, Chris. Maybe we are Man City, but when it comes to winning trophies, we win so many.
I know, and I have actually... I've spoken to a couple of Leeds fans and I have sent them the number for their local premature ejaculation meetings. You know, obviously premature celebration they were suffering from.
Oh, yeah. What was it they were saying, Chris? We'd like to take the mick out of them. They predicted a riot. Well, there'll be riots if they don't win the playoffs. So it's going to be, yeah.
When I did my show...
I think that's probably just going to have to be the end of the show, isn't it? Just like not the end of this show, this episode, but like all of it, because there's just no coming back from it.
Just devastating.
Yeah,
absolutely devastating.
We've been killed.
I don't think a premature ejaculation group is a thing, is it? Unless it's the particular woods he meets up in.
Don't know. I don't know, Michael.
Should we just leave it before we libel anyone?
I think it's probably for the best. Yeah. I think that's probably the best way to finish this, as it were. So,
do you know, I actually only came across that clip because I was wanting to get a still of him to send to you for something. And then I was like, I'll watch it, actually.
For commentary purposes, just
then we came across that.
Yes. And that's the end of this episode of Propaganda. Should we return and do one after Wembley? I mean, dependent on the result. I mean, if we go up, yes.
If we go up, 100%.
If we Leeds it in, I think we just pretend it never happened.
It's probably the safest option, isn't it? Because there's the rest of this. It's basically the last game of the season as well, isn't it? So there's not going to be any.
It's the last game of the season, and the whole season rests on it.
There's nothing to fall back on. There's no comfort to fall back on, is there?
No.
I suppose Scum might. Will Scum have lost an FA Cup final by then?
We could just ignore it and laugh at Scum.
I've just realised as well. My train gets into King's Cross at 4:00 on Saturday, and I need to then get to Wembley Park for the Airbnb straight from King's Cross. Assuming that Man City do them in 90 minutes, I'll be arriving at Wembley Park just as the cup final's finishing, I think. Good timing, isn't it?
That'd be nice for you.
Turn up in my Leeds shirt. like I don't know. Think of a Warfield 300. Like that. There you go.
Your dad will be all right. You'll be fucked. How old's your dad? Like 70 or something?
Yeah, north of 70.
Yeah, he can take him. He'll be fine.
Yeah. But so that'll be interesting. Yeah, we'll see anyway next week. We'll see what next week brings, whether it's happy or sad.
Just imagining Dan's dad as like the John Fury of this podcast.
Hey, because he's in the same Airbnb, we could try, if we go up, we'll try and get him on.
You could do, yeah.
Assuming he stays till the end of the game.
He's not going to be there for long. But he's got to stay for a final, hasn't he?
Of course
surely he's breaking his rules there.
Yeah, I would have said so. You can't drive back to Brid, given that the train's back on Monday. Can't drive back to Brid, can you?
Plus, if he does head straight for King's Cross, he'll presumably be encountering more Scum fans, which I don't think will sit well with him.
No.
So, because they'll be going from there, sort of stay over, won't they? So
yeah, true. Anyway, watch this space. We'll figure it all out. To come this week, we've got the weekly show. We'll preview the final with Phil, and then it'll be off down to that London.
Jesus.
See you down there.
The Square Ball Podcast.